Hi guys, welcome back to another Babbling beer review. Here, not in the King&Dragon at the moment, in my shed, or in my outbuilding, but and not for a Babbling beer review. As promised on my channel, this is about Brewday and making a pale ale, which I have mentioned I said on a couple of previous videos that I would do. So I just thought I'd start off with this one, which is just the equipment I'm going to be using, what I'm going to be using. Give you guys an idea. For those of you that know how to brew, obviously this is second nature to a lot of you, but there's people out there that have never brewed a beer before. I've done a few, so I've just gone off by what I know. Always open to suggestions and comments. Put them in the comment boxes below, as I say. Let me know how you do it and what differences you have and different things you use. But for me, just a basic sort of introduction to brewing. Bit blowy out there, just shut that door, don't know why it's open. Hope you can see me in here. It's a bit, hope the lighting's not too bad. I was hoping for more of a sort of a longer shot, but I've got a lot of stuff over the side there, so I can't really get the camera where I want to put it to show you guys, so I shall bring things into view more. So yeah, it is this one I'm going to be making. Simple pale ale, bought from Amazon. I think this was just shy of £16, I think it was, for the packet, which will make 23 litres. Ideal in a 25 litre barrel or fermenting bucket. So simple pale ale, that's what I'm going to be brewing. And on with that, you get your little packet of yeast, yeast on the bottom there. People do change them out. You can change them obviously when you get a bit more experience with brewing and the brewing processes. Different yeasts make the flavours of the beer slightly different and do, so it's entirely up to you. I'll obviously use what I got on the packet here, and as we go along we'll see how it comes out, so hopefully it'll be okay. But I have bought, as we're talking about Shepherd Neame in the last video, hops from Hop County, East Kent Goldings, which is obviously from Kent, Shepherd Neame. So yep, 50 gram pellets there, and some Fuggles I'm going to try as well. So these are, I think they were just shy of £5 a packet each, I think, something like that. Off the top of me, I don't know. I'll have to get the figures and have a look. But yeah, probably about £9 for the two of them delivered. And then obviously with the ale. Now, people, it's up to you what you use. A lot of people use brewing hearts or brewing sugar for their brews. I've used granulated. I think it's because it's a bit coarser, it's a bit harder for the yeast to do its work. I think something like that. You can comment if I'm wrong, but I've had no bother using granulated sugar. So for me, a good old 1 kg packet of sugar, not even £1.50 or whatever, probably pick up for £1. So to make your brew as cheap as you want to make it, really, or as much expensive as you want to make it, it's the more you add and different things you put in it, the more it's going to cost you. But again, if you work out overall the cost, of brewing 40 pints, some of these kits are obviously, some are more than 40 or less than 40 pints, should I say? Babbling beer reviews. So I think it depends on what you buy. Also, I've never bought one like the simple ale there. I've never bought in a packet. I'm quite interested to taste if it makes any difference to the overall flavour of the beer. Normally buy tins. A lot of kit beers are 1 tin kits. Again, you get what you pay for, I suppose. If you buy ones that have got the two tins of malt in, you're probably going to get better results at the end. So if required, a heat mat, a brewing mat, so you can stand your beer barrel there to get your average in it at 21 degrees for the fermentation period. You're going to need obviously a brewer's spoon or a long spoon of some description. You're going to need some sterilising cleaner. This is only a couple of quid off of Amazon. Young's steriliser and cleaner. I have bought this time some Camden tablets. I think they're very similar they do a similar job, I do believe, but I've bought this because of my water in the area, and the beers I've had have been a little bit off previously, so I want to try the Camden tablets. to take the chlorine out of the water. I think it's, you know, I think it's 1 tablet for so many litres or whatever. So we'll have a look at that as we go along. But so basically, I'm going to wash these out, sterilise them, fill one of them. You don't need. I've got 2 here, as you can see. I've got 2 fermenting buckets. Obviously, the main one for brewing in, which I'll show you. These are a couple of bits in a minute. This one obviously for brewing, and this one here I'm going to use for the water, putting the water in and adding the canning tablets. So I shall fill that with the water that I want to use into the brew bucket. So when I put my ale mix into the bucket, instead of taking the water straight from the tap, I'm going to take it out of here into there after I've had the canning tablets sitting in it to take the chlorine out, hopefully, which will hopefully help with the flavour. So we'll see as we go along. All we can do is check and see what comes out. But yeah, so you want one of these buckets. You can get these kits off of Amazon. My first one was a Young's kit, actually. A lot of bits I bought afterwards. I had the basic essential stuff in there to do a brew. I had to buy the spoon separate. Some kits you can buy with everything in it. But basically they send you out a beer kit, Young's beer kit. I think it's 30 or 40 pounds, and you get the bucket. You'll get a box like that with bits and pieces in it. And your bits inside. This one here, sorry, I've got just show what else I need. That's the barrel like that. I hope I'm going to transfer it into when it's ready, when it's all done for conditioning, ready to put on the pump in the pub. When we're at that stage, it's got to be good, isn't it? Be good goings. So yeah, this is just a standard bucket that I got. You know, use it. And obviously there's your siphoning tube, which you need as well. But if you buy a Young's kit, most kits you've got them in there, so when you want to take your brew out, you can get it out of there. This one here has got a airlock in, ideal. So we'll fill that with, once we've cleaned and sanitised everything, and some boiled water that's cooled. Half fill it, and then we can keep an eye on the what's going on with the brew. So we know when it's ready. Once it stops bubbling over a few days and we take our gravity readings, we should know when we're ready. So also you'll want one of these tubes or an old jug or something, and your hydro meter for reading your gravity. Alright, so that's for testing. So obviously, with the beauty of having a bucket like this is you can pour some out, stick your hydrometer into your brew, and then you can obviously get your reading of what it's at, see where you are, without having to open the lid or touch the lid, which is good. So you're not introducing air into your fermenting bin, and then you should be good to go. You know, once you've got it all in there, you've got all the mixture in, get it brewing up lovely. And I say, I'm gonna brew it first. And then I'm going to obviously, once the yeast has done its work, I'm then going to add my hops, or dry hop, as they say. Put dry hop in, I'm going to add my hops into the brew once the yeast has done its initial work, and leave it for several days. Or I think it's the maximum take. I've seen the guys say it's 5 days. So just to get that flavour in there, and then I shall ship it into the barrel. But I'll probably move it from here into here once I've done it, and add the hops. Add the hops into there, and let it sit for a couple of days before I rack it into my barrel, and then hopefully it'll come out the way I want it to. So we'll see. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. That's what you need. So several items there. Obviously your bin, your airlock, your hydrometer and tube. If you can get a bin with a tap on it, it's going to make your life so much easier when you're testing your gravity, and make sure that you ain't got to keep opening the lid and introducing bacteria and air into that bin. So a spoon, some sterilizer. A lot of people use Star San because you can just use that and it's no rinse sanitizer. It's a bit more expensive, so hence I'm a bit of a cheapo, so I've gone with the cheaper option, powder. Should make that up, and I just have to, once you put it in, rinse it. There is a bit of a thing about, does it introduce bacteria and that, but you know, a lot of the guys that do regular brews say it doesn't. And if you actually read the instructions, it tells you to rinse it off after using cold tap water. So each to their own, each to their own. And I say, you can, especially for the winter months, if you left it outside here, you'd have to have it. You want it at a regular temperature to get, you know, good fermentation going. So I'm probably going to cover this window up in here and set it in here, and hopefully it will be nice outside. It's out of the way. It's not in the missus' way. It's not indoors. Jack and she, you know, moaning about, all you do is drink and make me in my kitchen and things like that. So it just saves all that grief. So yeah, this is just a kit. Like I say, I'm going to sterilise it up now. Basically, all you want to do is put a little bit of solution. It does give you the instructions on this. It'll tell you how much to use. For a 25 litre container, dissolve 3 to 4 teaspoons of powder in 10 litres of warm water. This can then be swirled around the container, making sure the solution comes into contact with all surface, all the areas. And you can put with your spoon and your siphoning tube in there. I mean, I'm not going to need the siphoning tube at the moment. I'm not going to need it till I get through the first stage where I need to siphon off. So at the moment it'll just be the bucket. But yeah, put all your bits and pieces in there and swill it around. Leave it for 10 minutes for the solution to work. Should be good enough. In that 10 minutes, just every so often give it a bit of a swirl around and then put it down again. So for 10 minutes, 10-15 minute process, or probably 15 minutes I'd go for. And then you can rinse it with cold water. So same thing, put it all in there, rinse it out with cold water, tip it away, and then it should be good to go for your brew. All right. So we'll do that. So I'm not going to show all the washing out process. Probably should do if you haven't watched videos before. But basically, get your equipment. That's what you need. Get your some sanitizer. As I say, or Star San. I think it's liquid form you pour in. Read the instructions. Basically, it's a case of swilling all your equipment out, making sure it's all sanitised, everything's clean, and the surface areas you're working in are clean. Get that sanitised, and then we'll come back at the next stage. So once I've done all that and I'm ready to add the mixture, I will go on and do another video and add to this one. So that'll be the next stage. Wash these out, get the simple pale ale warmed up in a can, 15-20 minutes sitting warming, get that packet open, and we'll get it in the bucket, and we'll add our fresh, hopefully dechlorinated water into the fermenter. Also forgot to mention, I've got a whole pack. I've got to find them. I've got another packet of these. You can buy these, a couple of quid, and you get a packet of Amazon again. Thermometers to stick on your back barrel, so you can keep an eye on your temperature. All right. And so you've got the mat there as well. But I mean, that one's reading 22. I'm pretty sure I don't know any good, that one. But I've got a whole packet of them, so I shall obviously get some of them. Stick on this newer bucket that I've got. So we can keep it on the temperature while we're brewing. I've also bought, I mean, it's up to you I suppose, I've got a thermometer as well that, well, I won't be having the lid on this one, so you can buy all sorts of gubbins, digital and whatever else, you know, with a probe on it that you can stick in. Even if you bought it just to check to make sure that the thermometer's reading, you could put warm water in there, just check to make sure that it's reading correct before you even begin the brew. That way you know you've got the right sort of temperature before you pitch your yeast. Anyway guys, so I'll wash that and then I'll be back with you for the next part. Alright, so stay tuned. And again, my clicker don't want to work, so stay tuned guys. So guys, I've done that. I've sanitised out all the buckets. As I said before, put some sanitising solution in and then left it for 10 minutes. Rinsed it out with some cold water. Good to go. Then I've put some cold water from the tap into this bucket, as I said, and I've crushed up a Canon tablet. Word of warning guys, Canon tablets do not smell good. Okay, so don't sniff them. I don't know what made me open. I opened the lid, obviously very close to me, looked inside and I got a waft of the gas, so not good. So be safe. Don't be smelling stuff like that, not good for you. Hopefully I'm alright, I'll know later. So I've crushed up, I'd say a quarter of the tablet to half a Canon tablet. I'm not going to put the whole thing, reading up about it. I mean, you know, one tablet will do like 20 gallons, you know, so I've only got 5 gallons, so I don't need that much in it. So I'm now going to add this. I've crushed it up. It's all sanitised, and I'm going to put it into the mixture there, and I'm going to let it do its thing. All right. So once that's ready, then we can, you know, use this water. I'm going to take the chlorine out and we can use this water for the brew. So while that's doing, I shall get on with a malt mix. Alright, so I'm going to put this now in a pan of warm water, as it tells you to do, and let it soften. Okay, so stand the pouch in hot water for 15 minutes. Probably about the right sort of time for that. And then it should soften up, so we can pour that into our fermenting bucket. And so while that's doing, this should be ready to go. Alright, and then we'll add our hot water and our other bits. Brew day's turned to brew night at the moment, so stay tuned for the next part. Alright, see you in a minute. Alright guys, welcome back again. Bit of a disorganised chaos in here at the minute, Babbling beer reviews. So I've had the it's a bit funny as well since I sniffed them Camden tablets. Definitely not recommended. Don't do that, guys. I've had the Simply Ale packet sitting in the water now for 20 minutes, I suppose, 25 minutes, something like that. I've just left it. I'm now going to add it to the bucket, the fermenter. So I shall cut the top off, like so. And there we have our packet of Simply Ale mix. And I'm going to get some kettle water, and then I'm going to add it to this bucket down here, and I'll show you what I'm doing in a minute. Alright. So get your malt mix, get your bag, add your water, and then you're going to want to pour it in. I mean, it is obviously very syrupy, guys, very malty. Smells very nice. I'll pour that in there. I'll pour it into your brewing bin. I'll get hold of my spoon out the way. Let's move that onto the lid. Make more sense when it's all sterilised, so it should all be good. Alright. So I'll put that on there. Pour your malt mix into your fermenter. Very gloopy. Beautiful, beautiful golden caramel looking colour. Nice caramel looking mixture. And obviously you want to get as much as you can out of your packet there, so pour that in. I'll show you when I'm in there, guys. Get 3 litres of kettle water, hot water, to add to this, and then we'll add the cold mixture of water. I'm going to let it obviously siphon off from there into the bucket. We take a little while to do, but it's had the Camden tablets in it. I've had the Camden tablets in me as well. Well, I've sniffed some funny things in my time, but I don't recommend sniffing them, guys. No sir. No sir. Right, so I'll pour that in, and then we'll add the kettle water. So 2 ticks, and I'll do. So I've got the kettle now. Just put a bit inside this, just to swill it out so you get the leftovers out of the packet. It's very sticky stuff, guys, so you've got some gloves you can wear for brewing. You will stick a sterilised rounds in some gloves. Pour that into the fermenter. Get out what you can. Obviously, it all helps. All helps with flavouring. Call that smalty. Smalty? Smalty. The malt smell there. Very nice. Very nice. Handsome smell. So there we go. So we've got some of that out. Always put a bit more in there just to try and get what you can out. Normally the tin you can see, but it's obviously squeezing the packet out. Not so much. Take your kettle water. Pour that into your fermenter. Pour in hot water. Okay, pour that in, and then we'll get another one. It says 3 litres. It's depending on yourself really. So I'll get another one and I'll show you the mix in the fermenter bucket here. Alright. Right guys, so last of the kettle water going in. Put that into there. Get your mixture, get your kettle in. And then, let's just go hold you a minute because you can't really see what I'm doing guys, can you? So, there you go, you see? There's your multi mixture there. And then I'm going to pour the sugar in. Pour the sugar, we'll stir the sugar in, and then we'll add the cold water. Alright? So there we go guys, I'm getting a bit of a stir up. On the step, get the multi mixture working there. And I'm going to add some sugar, alright? So I'm going to sprinkle some sugar into this, and I'm going to stir it as I go. And as I can't get the tripod down here, I'm not going to show you. But basically, what you want to be doing is sifting your sugar in and stirring at the same time. So I need 2 hands for that. But yeah, pour your sugar in and stir as you pour it in. Alright, I'll be back. Right, so I've done that. I've added the sugar. I've stirred it in, stirred it till it's dissolved. And then we've got what looks like a frothy ale in there. We're just the base. Looks like a frothy beer. So now that bit's done, I'm going to add this water now to the mix. So I'm going to siphon it into there, let it run, and then we'll see how it comes out. So basically what you're looking at, I'll just come back to a sec, hold on a sec. Is that guys, that's what you're looking at. Alright, so there's your bucket with your sugar and your malt in it. Your sugar, your malt and your sugar, should I say, stirred in. Okay, and as I say, I'm going to add the cold water that we've put a King&Dragon tablet in. Hopefully took the chlorine out. We'll fill this up to the 20-25 litre mark, and then we'll be nearly good to go to leave it to ferment. Oh, we'll have to obviously wait, test the temperature, and then we can pitch the yeast. Alright, so stay tuned. So there we've got it guys, we've got it running in. Alright, the siphon tube coming off our clean treated water, and we're running that down into our malt mix now. Our beer mixture, so we'll leave that, let that fill up with that water. As you can see, there's quite a bit to put in, and then we'll come back later on, have a look at the temperature, and we can see about pitching our yeast. Alright, stay tuned. So guys, these are the thermometers you get in a pack. Only ever so that's just a bit of thin. What am I looking over there for? a bit of thin. It's almost like card, I suppose. But we've got a pack of these, only a couple of quid as I say. So I shall now stick this on our buckets, full up now. Cold water's gone in there, and then we'll check the temperature on it and see what was happening. So guys, I've fitted the thermometer now to the bucket, or the fermenting bucket, shall we say. And as you can see there, it's saying it's 24 degrees, but it does say for ale or wine that you can pitch between 20 and 24 there. 21 normally I'd like. 22 would be good. That was now 22, so I'm going to wait for a bit, and then we'll pitch the yeast in, and get it on this way, and then we'll fill the airlock with some water. Alright, so stay tuned. Guys, welcome back again. We're at the final end part now for the brewing side of things. So it's still a bit higher, a bit warmer than what I'd like, but it's got late now. I don't like to leave the mixture too long. You can do, but there's always risk of infection and things like that. So I still feel a bit rough from my Camden intake. Not good one, as I say. Make sure you take precautions, don't sniff that sort of stuff, guys. One of them things, isn't it? Should know better, really. But anyway, so ale yeast. Now with this one, you it does say on there you don't have to stir it in, so we're not going to stir it. We are just going to put it across the top. Alright guys, let me see in there. There's the little buggers there. Get them going. So we'll pitch this in, and we'll fill our airlock, and then hopefully it will get underway, and then I'll come back obviously at the next stage when I add the hops. I'm still in debate of what I'm going to do with that yet and how I'm going to do it, but I've got a few days to think about it because it's going to take a few days for this to ferment. Hopefully it'll be alright out here, so it's not cold, it's not winter time, so I haven't used the heat mat because it's still warm. I shall look in the morning to see what's happening and take it from there. Hopefully it'll hold sort of steady temperature at this time of the year. If it was winter time, I'd have the mat on here and it would keep the brew warm. So without further ado, let's take that off or hold it out of the way. I don't want to get anything on it. And you just go ahead and just sprinkle your yeast all over your top of your mixture. And hopefully it will get to work doing what it's got to do. So there we go, let's get him in there. There you go, my little friends. There's a big splodge one in now, it doesn't matter. So you don't stir it in. So there's a load sitting on the top here. One side of the beer will be alright, the other side. So there we go. So lid on. Click your lid down. Get that all nice and on there. Obviously you'll get a rise in the lid with, you know, the carbonation as it ferments. You'll get a bit of smell in there, but perfectly normal. And you're looking for the scale to form around the outer edge. There's actually a bit more in there than 25 litres. We should be alright, should be okay. So let's fill up our cap. I'll take our cap off and put our, this has been boiled and left to go cool. Alright, so half fill the tube like so. Put your lid on and that's it. Let it do its magic. That should start bubbling. Once the fermentation gets underway, we'll get some CO2 bubbles escaping out of there. So, and then when it levels out, when it stops bubbling for a period of time, that should be ready. So I'm going to give it a few days and let it bubble up and do what it's got to do, and then I'll decide what I'm doing and how I'm going to do the hops, whether I'm going to transship this back into another bin and do like a secondary ferment, because normally I'll brew it and I'll just stick it straight into my keg and I'll put a bit of, you know, sugar and that in there, let it do its conditioning in that barrel. But as I'm adding the hops, I haven't decided how, whether I'm going to put in a bag or just pitch them in loose. So I'll think about it and we'll decide as we go along. But I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of video thus far. And as I say, we'll come back in a few days with more babbling from the King and Dragon in my shed, and hopefully we'll get on to the next stage and see how things are. Alright, so thanks for tuning in. See you in part 2. So welcome back, guys. It's the following day in the morning. I did say I'd pop out and just see what was happening with it, make sure it wasn't away. So what I didn't say in the last video when we put the lid on and we pitched the yeast is you've got to take a gravity reading. Alright, so you get your hydrometer and your tube, put a bit in there, stick your hydrometer in it and take the reading, and then when you're finished you take another reading once fermentation is completed, and you can work out your ABV. Alright, so forgot to put that in, but yeah, when you pitch yeast, take a reading and get your gravity reading. So I've just popped out to have a look. I've added the heat mat this morning. It was nice and warm obviously last night when I finished. It was at 20 degrees or just about this morning, so I don't know what happened overnight. Obviously I've been in bed asleep, so hopefully it was alright. But I've just put the heat mat on for now. No bubbling as of yet, and hopefully it'll get it going. So I'll just see how it goes with the heat mat for a bit, and I shall monitor it, Babbling Beer Reviews, monitor it as it goes along. So alright, I'll just switch the camera around and show you the tube with the hydrometer in it and what I've done with my brew. I wrapped a bit of cardboard around it to get the light out rather than board up the window, so hopefully it should be okay. Alright, I'll just switch the camera and then show you. So there we go guys, added the heater mat on there. As you can see, it's 20 degrees. Nothing happening yet, but the lid is doing what I wanted to do. It's got a good sign. So I wrapped a bit of cardboard around, good old baize packaging, recycled, and then hydrometer. Alright, so you must take the reading. A bit naughty, I forgot, but there we go. Alright, so stay tuned for the next bit. See you soon.